is but a song we sing, here away we die. You can make the mountains ring, hear the angels cry. Know the dove is on the wing, you need not know why. Hey people, now smile on your brother, let me see you get together, love one another right now.
Some will come and some will go, we shall surely pass.
When the wind that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading on the grass. Hey people, now smile on your brother, let me see you get together, love one another right now. Hey people, now smile on your brother, let me see you get together, love one another right now. If you hear the song I'm singing, you will understand. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand.
No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. God in us recognizes the God in you. God in you. Whether you're black or white or gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Good morning, Claremont Spiritual Center for Spiritual Living. How are you this morning? I really do know where I am, honestly. I'm right here and now. That's what we come here to remember, right? Here and now is where we are. Well, I'm Reverend Tracy and delighted to welcome all of you, and I want to say hello to our friends that are online watching. Everybody wave. We're happy that you too are part of this community that thrives on love and support and generosity and friendship. It's all good. And when it isn't all good, we come here to remember it's all good, right? Right. All right, well, we have a lovely morning for you this morning. Our practitioner on platform is the lovely Miss Diane Clements. And for music, we welcome Jeff on the keyboards. And we welcome our friend Janelle Rapp back to sing with us. Yay! So we have an opportunity each week just to remember that wherever we are on the spiritual path, there's a place here. Because we are not about what has to be done or what has to be said or what has to be thought, but instead how we approach life, which is from a spiritual perspective, which is with the understanding that there is a oneness in humanity that interconnects us all, and therefore all that we do for the good benefits all. And so it is good that you are here. Give yourself a little pat on the back for making it out this morning, and just know that things continue to unfold in ways that we have something to say about. We have the ability to help co-create our lives, and in doing so, we are in fact creating a world that works for all. So we're going to start with a little music. I'm going to invite you to stand up, and we're going to sing "Spirit is in this place." Taking that energy, taking all of that lifting up that we do and bring it within. I invite you to close your eyes and take a breath wherever you are. And just let the sound of the bowl bring you to that place of the heart that knows that joy. For there is that place within us that knows the divine spark, that light, that warmth, that home, that place of peace, that place of love. And in this place, we are remembering that you and I and Spirit are all one.
We give thanks for the sacred place, our sacred home. And we know that all is well in our sacred space here. I know that there is one power, one heart, one presence. There is one life, one mind. We call it God. We call it universal presence. We call it higher power. We give grateful thanks that the law of good is continuously operative in our lives. So let us surrender in this moment, know that all is well, for we are a center of God consciousness. We are immortal beings, forever expanding, forever spiraling upwards, forever growing in spiritual stature. And today, let's observe our own spiritual growth. Let's celebrate our daily spiritual growth. Let's celebrate our daily spiritual practices. And let's plan for new ways to allow the presence of God to work through us and for us. And so it is. My reading today is taken from good old Ernest Holmes, who never fails me when I need a reading. The impersonal law of personal good. All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. It's interesting to note that while Jesus said that all power was given to him in heaven and earth, at another time he said that he of himself could do nothing. Now this sounds like a contradiction until we understand its meaning. Jesus realized that there is but one power and one presence, and he knew that we all live in this presence and by this power. He also knew that when he surrendered himself to presence, that is, when he thought the thoughts of God after him, then the power would automatically respond to him. Therefore, in surrendering himself to the presence of God, he commanded the law of good. This is fundamental to our whole concept of what we believe and the way we use it. For we use the law of good, which of itself is entirely impersonal and independent of us, like all nature's laws. Responding to the presence of love, we use the law of good. This is what meditation, affirmation, and prayer mean to us. So I am now depending on the power that is greater than I am, and upon the law of good that is available to me right here and now. Identify my life with this presence and power and the love of God. I recognize divine presence within me, around me, and in all people. If there is anything in me that denies this presence or this power, I loose it and I let it go. I surrender myself to the complete conviction that everything necessary for my well-being, for my physical, mental, and spiritual self-expression is now operating in, through, and around me. And I know that everything I do will prosper. I know that the one life, which is God, is my life now, and I accept the gift of life and love for myself and all people. Thank you, Ernest Holmes.
Oh no, here I am. So my mother fell this week on the 6th, and last year she fell on the 7th. She broke her shoulder, her hip, and her pelvis on the 7th of last year, 7th of January. On the 6th of January this year, she broke bones in her face, her left arm, and sprained her right wrist really bad. And so I've been thinking about falling and how, we fall in our walk. And on the 7th, I fell in my walk, not literally, but because of, I won't go into it, but what happened on the 7th. And what I mean by falling on my walk is that, Reverend Tracy says, we can't fix everything, so we need to work on ourselves. And I started looking out again at social media, and I started looking out again at trying to figure out what was going on with this thing that happened on the 7th. And I realized I was doing it again. And so I've been thinking all week about writing a song about falling. And then I've been talking about making space. I got to make space for my good. I got to make space for the good for other people. I got to make space for the good of this country. I've got to make space. Instead of focusing on trying to fix it, I got to make space for it to be. And here's what we got. The sky is falling, bridges burning, our minds are numbing, hearts grow cold. We tried to fix it, but there's nothing in my hand. My map's outdated, treading water looking for land. Then I make space for the kingdom within. I make space to let go of what came and went. I make space for the good that I know is waiting there. I make space for every answered prayer. We've been falling, pushed and tripped, broken and bruised, now our mind's on it. Well, there's no shame in falling, 'cause we are fall, getting back on our feet, 'cause falling is just a dream. When we make space for the kingdom within, when we make space to let go of what came and went, when we make space for the good that we know is waiting there, we make space for every answered prayer. We can keep practicing again and again to make space for kingdom within. We can keep practicing again and again to make space for kingdom within. Heart and mind, when things unwind, again and again it's within. We make space. We make space. We make space again and again and again and again and again. We make space. We make space. Space. 'Cause our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what we're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness. I know that God is always there. 'Cause every thought becomes a prayer as we make space. Every thought becomes a prayer.
Okay, you got me on that one. It's perfect. So I'm lighting this candle this week for the dignity and value of every person. And I'm reading part of an essay by Parker J. Palmer called Wintering Through. He says, "For me, wintering through begins with remembering that snow, ice, and death are not the whole story of what's happening in the world outside my window. Deep in the earth, in a world I can't see, life has hunkered down in preparation for rebirth. Thanks to this invisible world, spring always returns. From that fact of nature, I find it easier to embrace the larger reality of that all life, including mine, is dependent upon a vast web of being from which we arose and to which we will return. However deadly conditions may be in the visible world, these invisible interconnections are constantly working away at making all things new. Wintering through becomes easier when I stay in touch with the invisible web that supports all of us. But I need practices that open me to the life-giving power of that which cannot be seen. That's why every wisdom tradition offers ways to open, quote, the doors of perception, end quote, to the invisible world. Humanists read poetry to see beneath the surface of the taken-for-granted world. Buddhists practice mindfulness to plumb what's hidden in the present moment. Christians receive the sacraments as outward and visible signs of an inward and invisible grace. Jews study Torah contemplatively to see the light within the words. Muslims repeat sacred phrases to come closer to the divine. It's simple. If I regard every encounter with another being as a chance to play my tiny part as a life giver in the web of life, I become more open to receiving the new life it has to offer me. When I speak up against all that violates love, truth, and justice, I become more confident that I'll be supported in my own time of need. The belief that we are sustained and renewed by an invisible force field does not mean we are free to sit back and enjoy the ride. Wintering through asks us to hold one of the greatest paradoxes of being human. We must do all that we can in support of our common life, and we must trust that we are being upheld by a life force larger than our own. So the title today is Our Thoughts, Our Prayers. And needless to say, Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, has a lot to say about prayer. He says, prayer in its truest sense is not a petition, not a supplication, not a wail of despair. It is rather an alignment, a unifying process which takes place in the mind as it reaches to its divine self and to that power which is greater than human understanding. A treatment is the process, a spiritual mind treatment is a process of convincing yourself of the truth of what you say. It does nothing else. When you are self-convinced, then you have set forth into consciousness the power that does everything. You don't pray this power into existence. Your use of it is not a prayer to the power, but a recognition of it. It makes me think of the season of maple syrup. You go to the trees and you add a tap to the tree in order to get to the sap inside. The sap is already there. You are just tapping into it. Now, our spiritual mind treatment, our form of affirmative prayer, has 5 steps. And these steps are designed to bring us to a place where we remember and recognize and feel the spiritual center of our own being. Because we are both human and divine. It's all here in us. What gets in the way is the outside world telling us who we're supposed to be and what we should be doing. There are a lot of people that are very happy to do that for us, aren't there? There's probably a couple of people in your life you would like to tell what to do and how to be it. But we're trying not to do that, right? That's why we're here. Okay, speaking from personal experience. So we have 5 steps. The very first step is to acknowledge the power of life, the essence of life, the energy of all things. We might call it God, we might call it the universe, we might call it nature, we might simply call it self-awareness. But there is something that we are aware of that is greater than ourselves, something that we are expressing or a part of or that we tap into that is more than just what we're able to know and think. And that power we often call spirit or God. We name what that is. This life, this power, this spirit is one of peace and beauty and joy. It is an energy of wisdom and intelligence and love. It is that which creates, nurtures, and sustains all of life. These are the things that do not change. These are the things that are always present. Now, we may individually decide what we think is beautiful, but we don't ever change the fact that beauty exists. The same with joy, the same with peace. The same with wisdom. The second step in the affirmative prayer treatment, once we have named what this power is in life, is we remind ourselves that we are of that life. We are created of the same substance. That if God is all of life, that includes us. Therefore, that wisdom, that peace, that joy, that intelligence is ours. It's what we think and live with. Now, obviously, on some days, Or maybe just for some people, some of those attributes may seem very far-fetched. It may not be a day of joy in your personal experience right this minute, but there is joy in you, and you can find it by tapping into a memory of an experience where joy was something that you experienced, something you felt. It's always there. Our job is to recognize that we are of the same essence that Spirit is. If life is good, I am good. If life is light, I am light. If life is love in expression, I am an expression of that love. The third step, now that we know what life is, now that we know that it's our life, the third step is affirming or claiming what we know to be true, what it is we are calling forth, what it is our heart desires. When I speak from the I am that I am, there is only power. There is only creation. There is only life expressing. Think about it for a minute. If you make a true statement, something you know to be true, about your life, about life in general, about your kids, about where you live, you say something that is true. I can't shake you off of that. You know it to be true. We did an experiment at, I came of age in the 70s, so there were a lot of, workshops and weekend retreats and things. And you do muscle testing. You ever seen that? Somebody, like, you can hold your arm out and somebody will press it down. And if you're telling the truth, it doesn't move. And if you're not telling the truth, it will give way no matter how hard you try. So say your own name and have somebody push on your arm's not going to move. You know what your name is. There's no doubt. There's no question. But say your name is something else and your arm will go down every single time, no matter how much you tense up the muscles in your shoulders. When we speak from truth, we are immovable in that truth. So affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment says, here is the truth of the energy of life. I am of that truth, and from this place of knowing, I speak my word. That I recognize more peace in my life. That the relationships I seek are seeking me. That the abundant flow of life is also my abundant flow. And when I have said or claimed what it is I know or want to be true, I am grateful. I'm grateful that it already is. Why is it I don't see that abundant flow in my life at this moment? Maybe. How can I be grateful for it? But you know what? I know abundance exists. I know that the nature of life is to fill and fulfill all of us. I know that the one source is always given. The gift has already been given. And I'm grateful for that. And in that gratitude, by giving thanks for what is, it brings it into my experience. And that bringing it into my experience is not my business. That's the universe's job. That's life's job. I say yes, and the universe says yes to me. I say there is abundant flow in life, and the universe says yes to me. And I begin to see it in my life. So when I know it to be true, when I'm grateful for its truth, I let it go. I trust it to unfold. I trust it to show up in my life in new ways, maybe that I wasn't even expecting. That's spiritual mind treatment. That is the structured form of prayer that we teach in Science of Mind. Ernest Holmes says that when you give a treatment, you're definitely setting a universal law in motion, which must not only accept what you say, but the way in which you say it. If your treatment is given with a sense of struggle, it will manifest that way. If it is given with a sense of peace, then it will manifest in a peaceful manner. So if we go into prayer for the purpose of aligning ourselves with life in a greater way, because we're always becoming, we're always expanding, we're always transcending what went before. If we move into the words with a sense of anxiety or tension or despair, we'll get what it is we are claiming but it may come with a sense of anxiety or despair. Whereas if we know from a place of peace, if we've done our work in the first 2 steps to know peace and to know that it's us, then we also know that it will show up in that way. No matter what's going on in the outside world, no matter how noisy it is. You're welcome. So, when we get stuck, to me, it's like, I grew up in Southern California. I do a lot of driving. I've always done a lot of driving. I never lease a vehicle because the mileage that you're supposed to do within 1 year, that's like 3 months, maybe 4. So, for me, it's easy to come up metaphors of driving. So if you're driving along the road and you get stuck on the side of the road for some reason, who are you going to call? And it's not Ghostbusters. You're going to call AAA, right? AAA, the roadside service, or whatever the roadside service is of your particular vehicle. But for most of us, it's AAA. So when we get stuck on the side of the road in life, when things seem to be too much, when we're not moving forward, when we don't know how to get it started again, when we're just sitting there going, now what am I going to do? Maybe it's on a dark road in the country at night, and who knows how long it'll be. I got stranded one time driving back and forth to school in Iowa, and I was in the middle of, I don't know, New Mexico, Arizona, somewhere with a lot of desert open space and a road that went straight for like as far as you could see. And my car died. There's no traffic. There's no cars. What am I going to do? I walk. I was about an hour out of the town behind me, and God knows how far it was in front of me. And within 10 minutes, a state trooper drove by on that road, and that took care of everything. So you just never know where and how you're going to get stuck, or what it's going to look like to get you going again. But as a spiritual practice, if we need spiritual roadside service, that AAA acronym can help us out quite a bit. The first one is awareness. You must first be aware that something is going on in you that is holding you back or trying to get your attention. That's the second piece, is attention. And the third one is action. So awareness says, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on today, but I am so agitated, I am so cranky, I'm going to hurt somebody. Obviously, some of you have felt that before. Or maybe I am so sad today, I don't even know how I'm going to get out of bed. Or I am so angry, I don't even know how I can live my own life. Right? So the first step is awareness. Where am I? It's trying to get my attention. What is it that's asking for my attention? And the thing about attention is that in order to do it properly, we must pause. We must pause and give it some thought and give it some love. So whether it's an outer situation or an inner turmoil, whether it's something that's happened to us or something that we're just aware of, whether it's our life or someone else's, to give it our attention is to stop and just listen. To be aware and just see what is beneath the surface. To ask ourselves, what is it that needs my attention in this situation? When we spend a little time with that, when we do it with a sense of love rather than judgment, right? Because it's really easy, if we're sad or depressed the third day in a row, to be really upset with ourselves for not getting over it, whatever it is. But we don't know what it is because we haven't given it any attention. So we pause, we give it thought, we give it love, and that will tell us how we are to move, what the next step is. It's call a friend, it's sleep all day and get up tomorrow, it's make a phone call, it's go out and march, it's pick up the phone and call and say you're sorry, it's whatever it is, there is an action that will come from you, for you, just for that purpose. And once again, you are moving forward on the road of life. If I believe there is always a way forward in and as love, which I do, and I speak truth to myself and to other people, I tell myself the truth. Hey, that was my fault. I need to do something about it. Or, hey, I said it didn't bother me, but it really does. If I speak my truth, then I will do what is mine to do. I will not try to fix everything. That just makes me cry. I can't do it. But I can do what's mine to do. I speak here on a Sunday. I write cards to people. I make phone calls. I listen. I share things that I read that I think are uplifting. That's mine to do. If what yours is to do is to run a meeting, call together a circle of friends, organize a trip, organize a march, make a sign, mail postcards, yours to do. Maybe what you do is you just bake extra cookies and take them to the senior center. The thing is, it takes all of us doing what we do to lift the world. None of us can lift it by ourselves. All of us together absolutely can and do. Because that little lady who loves your gingerbread cookies that you brought is going to be really happy when she goes home, and she's going to play with her granddaughter for an extra 20 minutes, and that kid's going to grow up remembering how wonderful it was to spend time at her grandmother's house, and that person may go on to lead the free world. Who knows? All because you did your cookies on that day. We never know the impact we have, but we can know that we have an impact, always. Holmes tells us when we do what it's ours to do. He says, the gardener does not will potatoes and cabbages into being, but he has a willingness to comply with the law of nature and provides the conditions which make it possible for this law to produce them. What's ours to do is to become an avenue of spirit. What's ours to do is to open up hearts and minds so that we might know a greater possibility. It's spirit within that regulates our thinking and our feeling if we let it. You know people that are at the mercy of their emotions, right? They fly off the handle. They're usually 3 years old. They fly off the handle, they throw a tantrum, they throw themselves on the floor, and then they're up and everything's better. As adults, we hesitate to throw ourselves on the floor because we're afraid if we throw ourselves on the floor, we may never get up again. Right? So if we allow the spiritual nature within us to have an impact on our own thinking, on our imagination, on our emotions even, we're going to see things from a different perspective. We're going to open up that avenue. My notes have reference to a quote that I don't have with me. But Holmes says that. We are an avenue of spirit. If I come across it, I will read it whenever I find it. So, talking about shifting perspective, giving our awareness and attention to something. Pat was walking the dog last week, something she does on the weekends. I do it during the week. She does the weekends. Works out great. She stepped on a pine cone and sprained her ankle in a very bad way. Well, rowers use their legs and feet to push in order to pull. And so pushing and pulling with a sprained ankle is not possible. So she hasn't been rowing all week. She hasn't been to the gym all week. This makes for a very cranky girl. Just saying. Those athlete types, they're just like addicted to that stuff. So Saturday, normally on Saturdays, she goes and rows in the morning with her crew. And, there's 9 people in a boat, so if one person's not there, it makes a difference. She let everybody know ahead of time, so they got a substitute for her. And then she asked the coach if she could ride on the launch with her. That's the little putt-putt boat that goes alongside the rowers. usually yelling at them to do something different, right? So she got on the launch. She had an opportunity to talk to the coach to see what the coach sees, right? To see the bigger picture. So they would talk about, can you see how her form is different than her form? And this is more efficient and this is not. And she had this whole different understanding of what the coach was seeing from the launch. Now her crew, there were two boats of 9 women out there, 8 seats and a coxswain, the person that calls out, go faster, go slower. 2 boats on the water. Her crew was 3 boat lengths back. That's basically the give it up spot. You are not going to catch them before the finish line. So go ahead and row, but don't worry about it. Well, that's not how Pat is wired. Neither is it how her team is wired. She's calling from the launch and telling her girls to go. And she's calling them out by name. Kelly, Teresa, go! Let's go! Pull! They got within a half a boat length of that boat. Had they had a little more space, they would have caught him and beat him. Her verbal energy, her intention with her words translated into the power of those bodies, of those oars, of those minds, of that consciousness of, I have more to give. She wasn't in there pulling the oars. She was only speaking. Energy can be managed. It can be directed. And when we do that consciously, we're calling it prayer. We're saying that who we are has an impact on how life is created. Why wouldn't we want to do that in a way that serves us, that lifts us, that helps each other? That's who we are. That's what we do. You know it when you volunteer. No matter how you volunteer, whether you bake something or serve soup at the soup kitchen or donate to Christmas gift giving or whatever it is, you know that you're aware of a need, you give it some attention. How can I help best? Maybe I give money, maybe I give my time, maybe I am physically of service. And then you do that, that action changes you as much as it impacts the person you are serving. Science of Mind is a very practical spirituality. We teach that our spiritual nature belongs in the world. We practice pulling away from the world long enough to settle back into what we know that's not disturbed by what's happening outside, so that we can step back into the world and bring that with us. Bring that awareness, bring that attention, bring those actions into everyday life. Our ability to pause and give attention to ourselves always translates into how we show up in the world. And so when we choose to consciously align ourselves with Source, with the spiritual nature within, with the strongest part of ourselves, then we are choosing to show up in the world in a greater way. Holmes says that effective mental treatment is propelled by a consciousness of love and a realization that the creative spirit is always at work. The one praying does not feel that they must compel the force to work. It is the nature of that creative power to take form, and it is the nature of humanity to use it. When we do prayer for ourselves consciously and call it prayer, we're not making something happen. We are opening up to allowing it to happen through us. We're opening our own eyes so that we might actually see where our blessings are, where we might actually notice that we really are abundant already in our lives, that we really do have joy in many places. And every time we do that, it's easier to imagine that for others. It's easier for us to know that no matter how someone is speaking or acting, there is light within them, whether they know it or not. And we, on a spiritual level, can connect with that. We can be part of that safety net, that interconnected web that we are all a part of, in an active way. To be of service, to recognize connection, and to call it holy, to call it sacred, to know that our everyday life is not separate from what we do on Sundays. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Listen to what you're saying. Listen to the thoughts in your head and decide how you want this conversation to go. And if you really can't decide and you really don't know what to do, what to say, how to feel, then just be. Just sit. Just look out the window. And then when you are moved to move, you will move from a place of awareness. And any small thing you do will be for the good. It can only be so because it is all God, even you. So call AAA when everything's too much, right? Become aware, give it your attention, and then take action. We're clearing the path so that what is within us can flow outwards, can shine brighter. We can encourage each other from the launch. You know, we can call out encouragement. Cur is the heart, French for heart, the Latin root, which means from the heart. When we speak from the heart, we are doing so with bravery. We can speak our truth. We can stand up for our friends. We can say what we see is happening and decide what we want to do about it. And however we do that, knowing that it will be unique to every one of us, it will be enough, because we are all doing that together. Holmes says we must never forget that in dealing with spiritual and physical laws, any energy must conform to the instrument through which it flows. We are the instrument of spirit. This statement is in no way can be construed as contradicting the limitless possibilities of life, nor the potential possibilities of humanity. But it is evident that whatever the law does for us, it must do through us. Hence, it is necessary that we furnish adequate channels as well as being receptive to that power. Namaste. So let's take a moment in prayer, shall we? Taking a breath, bringing our attention within, allowing our physical body to relax, to open, to know that right where we are, Spirit is. That this life we love, this life we lead, this life we desire, is all the energy that is already inside of us. And what I know is that this life has a divine intelligence and a wisdom and a clarity that cannot be denied. And if this life is one of clarity and wisdom and love, then I am that clarity, that wisdom, that love. And it is true for everyone. There is only one life, and that life is our life now. And so I speak my word that this life that we live is truly an expression of love in all its many forms. That we serve where we're able to serve, that we love everywhere that we take care of ourselves so that we might take care of others, that we are guided and guarded on this road we call life, to do the best thing, the next thing, from right where we are. I speak my word for enoughness, that each and every one of us is enough right where we are, in the life that we're in. And that expansion and upliftment is guaranteed, for that is the nature of who and what we are. And I speak my word that we all come through the winter, trusting and knowing that spring is on its way. That whether we see it or not, the blessings of life continue. That when we know our own strength and power, we are impacting the world in a positive way. And even if we don't know, we still have something to say to the world. And so I accept that this power is expressed as love. That we show up in service, that we speak truth to ourselves and to the world. For it is in this love, in this knowing of the truth, that things truly change, that the unseen becomes seen, that the invisible seeds of healing and wholeness sprout and grow and blossom. So for this and so much more, I am grateful. Grateful for this community, grateful for this philosophy, grateful for the assuredness that we are all on the road, moving forward in and as love, for that is the very nature of all that we are. And I simply let that be, trusting it to unfold in new ways, in creative ways, in unexpected ways that are perfect for each and every one of us. It is good, and so it is. So I invite you to join me in saying our affirmation, which you'll find in your bulletin. And if you will, repeat after me so that our online friends can participate. Today, I choose again and again to connect within. And then to express without. Prayer changes me, and I change my world for the better. And so it is. All right. We invite Janelle to come back up for a little more music, please.
Okay, wow. I'm supposed to do something after that?
Started it. I was crying when I went up there, so the turnabout,
That AAA thing, that's good.
You like that?
That's good.
I made that up myself, just so you know.
I love that. Could be a problem if I go so far off the rails that I actually call AAA. Could be a problem.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, so I played this for you guys a while back, but no one seems to remember it. My people don't remember it. But anyway, so I took my kids to school. On my way home, I saw this orangish car. Do you remember this story a little bit? No? I saw this, okay. I imagined I played it here. So I saw this orangish car to the left of me at the stoplight. And I noticed that the license plate said orangish. And I thought, oh, wow, somebody spent money on that. Okay. And I had been previously thinking about how the ishness of us, like we're motherish, we're leaderish, we're followerish, we're sisterish, we're whatever-ish, right? And we're never all that. We're never always a mother. We're never always a this or that. And I had been thinking about it, and I thought, I think I'm going to write a song about being ish. And then I got a little flack from the kids because they use ish for a different reason than I was using it. But anyway, but I still, wrote the song. But, oh, I need my capo. Do you see it on the, thank you. My roadie, I hired him. He gets paid very well. Someday, anyway. So, I don't want to go into one of my long stories, but I've been walking. You all know I'm a walker, and I've been walking and praying for a long time. That became my practice. And right before 2020, I felt like I needed to pray for people's protection. I didn't know why, but I memorized Psalm 91 and prayed that over all these people on my list. And I'd been doing that for years, and lately I knew that I needed to add, on one of my walks, I knew that I needed to add protection for their purpose, because everyone has a unique purpose. Not that it's a big one. They could have daily unique purposes. They could have a purpose for their soul, what it's supposed to learn. It could be some big thing that the whole world knows. And somehow, when I started praying for protection for their purpose and support for their purpose and connection for their purpose, it was such a clean prayer. There was no judgment there. Then I realized I could pray that for the world. I could pray it for my country. I could pray it for the city I live in, my community, my sons. I could pray for everyone and felt no judgment, no direction coming from me. There was so much space that opened up in me that I felt like, wow, I didn't know that I was clogging up the space with my prayers. So this subject, whoa, our prayers, our words, our thoughts, our actions, they're all prayers. And it's just, it's too much, AAA, help me. Anyway. I run a little hot and coldish, depending on the side of the bedish. Or maybe it's just the weatherish. I give credit to the shiniest objects, robbing my attention and logic. I fall in the abyss of the imperfectionist, and I remember I'm just human-ish. We've got a little childhood trauma-ish, but that never gave us the promise-ish that anyone will ever listen-ish when it's survival of the fittest. Yes, it's up to us to heal us, and in the process, let go of a mess and forgive, 'cause we're all human-ish. We'd all be better off if we'd accept our uniqueness stacks the deck. 'Cause we were born as pearls and diamonds. This world cannot divide us. Well, at times we get a little obnoxious, thinking everything we do is the richest. The life takes us back to the ditches we've been digging in our whole damn lives, looking for signs of life in spite of all the slips. Life becomes a gift, and that's what makes us human-ish. We'd all be better off if we'd accept our uniqueness stacks the deck. 'Cause we were born as pearls and diamonds. This world cannot divide us. We run a little, 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 run a little. We run a little, run a little, run a little, run a little, run a little hot and coldish, depending on the side of the bedish. Or maybe it's just the weatherish. We give credit to the shiniest objects, robbing our attention and logic, falling the abyss of the imperfectionist. Then we remember we're just human-ish. Please remember we are human-ish. We gotta remember we're all human-ish. Thank you.
Fabulous. I'm going to ask our ushers to come forward, please. This is our time of contribution. One of the ways in which we serve our community is to support ourselves financially, to recognize and appreciate the changes we are able to make, the teachings we are able to spread, and the things we are able to offer each other. For those of you that may not have been here since maybe before the holidays or it's been a while, I just want to point out how beautiful this room is. That we have new carpet, new paint, new windows. We have a new parking lot. Not that you can see it because those new windows let you just look at the trees instead of the cars. Nice, huh? And we did this. We do this because we support each other. We support this philosophy and this community in ways that allow us to be present in the larger community. This space is rented out often. People from the surrounding areas are here visiting, and I know that they, as I do, when they walk into this room, they feel the welcome. They feel the coziness. They feel the fact that we care. And for that, I thank you. It comes from all of you, from all of us, making this what it is. So if you will, say our prosperity affirmation with me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. We'll start off by thanking Kelly Dixon for the flowers this week. Thank you, Kelly. I'm imagining that she's watching from home since she's not here today. You too can be one who donates flowers. You actually buy the flowers. They're delivered here. We enjoy them on Sunday, and then you take them home with you. There's a sign-up sheet in the back if you would like to participate. And you are welcome to dedicate them to someone or something. Your choice. And you can even pick the colors if you'd like. This week, Wednesday meditation at 6:30 on Zoom. Practitioner Nisa is in the back there. She will be the one to greet you online. And you'll take a moment on a Wednesday evening and center yourself in your spiritual knowing. It's a wonderful practice. Also this Wednesday, if you want to do something in person, this is our monthly interfaith prayer and share circle. So we invite people from all different communities to come. We break into smaller circles and answer questions about, how we're doing or where we are with maybe what's going on in the world, maybe what's going on at home. It's an opportunity to be heard. It's an opportunity to hear how others are doing. And then we share prayers from different traditions to anchor us in the greater truth, anchor us in the knowledge beyond whatever it is that we are facing or dealing with. It's a lovely, lovely group. I invite you to come. Some of you have been there every time. Some of you have come once or twice. I invite you to come Wednesday night here in the chapel at 6:30. And if you're at home, then dial in and talk to Nisa. That would be a lovely thing. This coming Saturday is Reiki Share Saturday. That's 1 o'clock here in the chapel with Sue and her band of energy hooligans who come to do healing work for all of us. It's, again, a lovely experience, a wonderful thing to do for yourself. And one of the things I think that fills this room with the energy that we all feel. So, yes, Nisa.
If you're Reiki 2 or higher, then come an hour earlier.
Okay, so Reiki 2 or higher, you can come at noon, and that is an opportunity for you to circle up with the Reiki practitioners. So we are always welcoming new practitioners as well to assist with that healing energy. There are 2 events happening next Sunday through the Unity Congregation, which meets in this space after we do. There is a filmmaker, author, and interfaith activist, Ruth Broyd Sharon. It will be Sunday here in the chapel at the service, but also doing a workshop after. There's a flyer in the back telling you a little bit more about it. And then in the evening at 5 o'clock on that same Sunday is Soul Connections. That is a group meeting of support, and there is a flyer in the back for that as well. So we're always happy to participate with our Unity friends. Anything else? Anybody? Oh, just a reminder that if you are interested in being on the board, if you are being nudged internally and trying to ignore the voice about being on the board, please speak to Mickey or to Chris and do yourself a favor. Find out a little bit more about it and see if that might actually be something you want to do. Yes, Nisa?
When is the meeting?
The meeting will be the last Sunday in February. So somebody can look up that date. I don't have it yet, but the meeting will be the last Sunday in February. That is our annual business meeting. We tell you what we've done on the board. We talk about our financial situation. We talk about all of the things we have accomplished in the past year and what we're looking forward to doing the next year. And we always eat. Eating is good. So, we feed you, then we have a little meeting, and then and this year we're going to do a special celebration of everybody who's ever been to class in the past 2 years and never got their certificate. Maybe it's the past 4 years. I don't really remember. It was a paperwork thing. I have certificates to give out. So if you've been taking classes, you should come to that meeting, and we will make sure that we clap for you because you get credit for that. Yes, Susie? February 22nd. So that we'll have lunch in the hall and the meeting in the hall because there will be a church service going on in here with Unity. So we'll be next door for lunch and our meeting on the 22nd. Anything else? Anybody else? All right. Let's stand up, move to the sides, and sing to Eddie Watkins Jr.
Take a look at the person next to you. Say God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, 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 we come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, every walk of life, every creed and color, every creed and color. In kinship we unite. In honor of the God in each other, we come together, 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 in the name of love. We come together, 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 in the name of love.
Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby.
If you need me, call me. No matter where you are, no matter how far.
Don't worry, baby.
Just call my name. I'll be there in a hurry. You don't have to worry. 'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough. Ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, baby. chama, não diz nada. Vou botar os pés no chão e seguir na estrada. Não pense que o destino é assim tão cruel. Na vida cada um representa seu papel. Não perca seu tempo nessa confusão. Eu vou fazer as minhas malas e seguir com decisão. Já tô com o pé na estrada e não vou mais voltar. Não vou, não vou, não vou. Já tô com o pé na estrada, não vou mais voltar. Já tô com o pé na estrada e não vou mais voltar. Não vou, não